Is there anything better than getting together with friends to make art? And what if the theme of the day was just to honor you and something you love? Maybe your pets, or a person you love, or even the things in your life that you love. Wouldn't you feel like you're receiving a super special validation for that which is important to you? Like you're getting a big boost of love and attention. When we get together with others to make art, like in an art class, let's say, it's the different details that people add to their art that really elevate the experience. People are mostly supportive, generous, and enthusiastic with each other. We're celebrating our differences as a way to connect, and we want to know about this or that detail. You'll hear people asking each other, "How did you think about that? How did you know to add that? That's amazing," or "so inspiring," or "so cute." And it always creates a safe space for storytelling. One friend made a coffee-inspired art, and she incorporated photos of her young sons. Not something that you'd expect, but the piece was charming and personal, and she shared the story that her kids went to a late start school, so they had a ritual of Friday Frappuccinos, and she confided that it was actually helping her appreciate and connect with her kids in a way that she hadn't because their lives felt so hurried all the time. So this opened the door for another idea, and then another, and pretty soon everybody was talking about a shared experience about slowing down. And in this kind of setting, these are the details that bring out the stories, and this is how we connect with each other. Our good friends can do this for us in the same way. Sometimes we don't believe it, and I think this is where we need more healing by learning how to give ourselves the love and support that we need. With good friends or in a class, we amplify what we need for each other. And this got me thinking about how we can create that same experience for ourselves when so many of us are making art alone. I think I was drawn to the photos that I used for this art in part as a way to visualize more of what I want, which is honoring and trusting my choices, and then also connecting even more with others through my art. But my mind actually struggled merging the reference photos that I used, and I'm going to expand on that in a moment. But at the core of it is fear that the details that I find interesting won't connect with you. And I think that I'm not alone in this kind of thinking. I think it's why so many of us do make art, and in part to connect with others, and to find out whether the details that are important to us resonate with the hearts of others. I'm not going to dwell on this next thing that I'm going to say for very long, but I think it's important to mention. I think it's very common to believe, maybe even unconsciously, that if we see someone having success with their art, that our art is lacking in some key detail that keeps us from success ourselves. I think that what may be truer is we want to experience more connection with others with our art, and this is really the kind of success that our hearts are after. It's just disguised as something else. For example, I have tried to create art like someone else's with the hope of gaining more sales. But this has led me down the path of frustration, and if anything, it's robbed me of love for myself and my art process. Gaining awareness of my heart's motivations has gone a long way to heal that tendency in me to make art for the wrong reasons, for me. And I'm not saying it's not okay to make money, I'm not saying that it's not okay to make money at art. But I am saying that knowing what your heart wants and honoring the choices of the details for your art, for your heart, will amplify the energy of success that is meant for you. When I honor the choices that I make with my art, and I'm loving the details that I'm inspired to add, I am much more fulfilled, and that energy of success that lives in me is turned on. Now, I'm not saying that it's wrong to copy either, because in fact, I think it's how many of us learn techniques and we learn about ourselves and the art that we love. But being aware of our motivations when we are creating does make all the difference. But we have to be really okay, and I'd say actually more than okay, with our own uniqueness. I think we have to embrace it and the details of our art. I titled this video, "Too Many Details in Art." During the making of this artwork, I noticed a few moments where my mind said, too much and too many details. The first time is when I came across the reference images, and my first hit of inspiration was, I really want to make an artwork that blends these two things, these two ideas. My mind said, that's just weird. Friends making art about two dogs. Who does that? I don't even live with a dog. Where is this art going? But I've been making art long enough to question this kind of negativity and to stay with that initial feeling of inspiration just to see where it leads. So I kept going. Then I got a hit of inspiration to cover the wall in art, honoring the two dogs, and my mind immediately said, that's way too much, too many of the same details. So I asked my mind, can a wall covered in dog art really be too much? How many details are too much? And really, in art, can anything in art be too much? I don't think so. Art is subjective. But this inner conversation did make me take notice that the details that I was making, although messy and maybe repetitive to some of you, were making me smile and were satisfying my heart as I imagined myself making art with my best friends and feeling their love for me by honoring what I love. And then I just got to a place where things clicked about why this art. I'm having a love affair with maximalist home decor on Pinterest right now. It may be because we recently sold everything except the contents of 8 suitcases and moved abroad to live in a tiny and minimalist apartment with their bare bones essentials. But there's something that pulls at my heart in the images that I'm collecting. These collections of others, of things that they have gathered that they love, like colors and shapes and textures of things old and new, are not too much to me right now. It's actually their so muchness that really speaks to me. And I'm happily creating my own collection of their collected things. And it's why I landed on this reference photo of the dogs, which I found on Unsplash, so that I could share it with you. And if you like it, the link is below, and it's a way to connect. So what I realized, what I'm doing with this artwork is collecting what my heart really wants more of. I'm extending what feels weird to me out to an imagined moment with friends who are celebrating and normalizing that weirdness that I feel afraid of inside me, because it makes me feel different and feel at my core that me and my art don't belong, that we're unlovable. And just saying that out loud right here brings out that part of me that knows better. I love me and I love my art. And I see now why I was inspired to make this one and why it felt uncomfortable. Feeling vulnerable isn't comfortable, and wanting to connect is normal, but the fears will come up when we add those details about ourselves that feel vulnerable. Bring them out anyway, even if they seem like too much or too many. Spend some time just telling them that it's their difference that makes them wonderful. The thoughts that put up resistance, the ones that may say that your art is not enough like someone else's, or not on trend, or even weird, they protect us from our vulnerabilities being exposed. But isn't that the point? Don't our vulnerabilities want to come out into the light so that they can connect and resonate with others, so that we can feel the same and different, like we and our art belong as our unique selves? I think so. Thanks so much for watching and listening. I'm so grateful that you're here. Have a wonderful week and happy creating.